It was like really intense, but I was like thriving. Even in the midst of all the chaos, I was like, ooh, I started this chaos, whoa.
Hello, 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 I'm Joey Nolfi with Entertainment Weekly. I'm here today with the cast of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 15, and this next queen, we're gonna investigate. Is she salty? Is she savory? Is it a little bit of cumin mixed with paprika? We don't know, but I do know that her name is Spice, and I do intend to get to the bottom of just how much she's gonna spice up this competition, because I feel like it's gonna be a lot. Thank you for being here.
I'm excited, thank you.
Me too. You've made quite a name for yourself with your sibling, Sugar. You're both the first ever actual, biological siblings to ever compete in Drag Race history. So was it tough to...
I'm probably the last after
maybe the last, maybe so.
They're like, not again, no.
With the chaos that we're causing here, I assume. Was it tough to settle into that dynamic of competing against a sibling versus doing this? I mean, you're doing it with them, but it's not like how the career that you forged together. You're individuals competing. Was it tough to settle into that dynamic?
I feel like it was definitely tough, but also just kind of like strange and confusing and weird. Because being a twin, people obviously okay, we get it, they compare you and stuff, but for us, we literally just do it to have fun. We don't have a competitive bone in our body. I always say you're only as hot as the less hot sister. You're only as good as the less hot twin. We both have to look good, we both have to, we both really look out for each other and want the best for each other. So I guess going into a competition, it's babes, where's the competitive nature? Come on, but we both really want to see each other slay. I mean, that is until it's us at the end, and I stomp her out of the competition and take the crown. So yeah.
Yes, it's funny because Sugar said the exact same thing.
Oh wait, so we've been doing a lot of interviews recently, and I was like, oh, I'm scared there's gonna be a compilation of us getting asked the same question and saying the same thing, but...
It starts here. It starts right now. So how did being forced to essentially... I mean, you're breaking that bond in a certain way by going in and competing as individuals. So how did that impact you emotionally, knowing that you were competing as an individually against somebody you've been so close with your whole life?
Yeah, it's fascinating because I feel like there's been girls that have known each other, history going on to the show, but obviously never as close as a sibling, let alone a twin, which is a different connection than any other sibling, much closer. So, or I'll speak for us at least. So it was kind of scary, I guess, but also I didn't really think about it. There's just so many other things going on in my crazy brain, so.
Well, so let's say in a scenario you're forced to pick teams or give someone an acting role. Did you think before the season, were you gonna resist giving your sibling the good part, or were you gonna get competitive and how did that all play out?
So that's the thing. I say we're not competitive, but we're fully ready to understand the assignment, twin versus twin, bring it on. We're camp, so it's we just lean into it, and it's our banter, so we do go back and forth, but it's all fun and shade. So I was ready to get the girls against Sugar. I was ready to just make it a full war, get the teams, Sugar versus Spice, let's go.
So Thanksgiving is awkward this year at the family table.
Absolutely.
So there is, though, speaking of the family, there's a third brother, correct? So after this, is he ready to walk through the doors that Maddie Morphosis opened for cis straight men? Is he ready?
Probably. I mean, yeah, Maddie opening these doors. Wow. Yeah.
Gia and Maddie both opening doors.
Obsessed, yeah.
For the third brother. You are a product of the digital era in so many ways. You started with Vine, and then you moved to YouTube, where you came out to your mother for the first time, but that's a very iconic video. So you're living publicly a life that many people lived behind closed doors, I feel like. So do you think living so many intimate moments of your life on social media made you ripe for reality TV, I guess, in a way?
Kind of in a way, because no, me and Sugar weren't on TV, but we're used to cameras, and I'm used to kind of presenting myself on camera. So I guess there was kind of a leg up in that aspect, but yeah, I was even saying the other day, putting myself out there, especially with drag and showing the whole journey, literally, you could look up the first video where we were ever in drag, and that's one of my favorite videos ever. Because it was so magical, it finally happened, and we were just so aligned, and in my vortex, here I go with my hippy dippy trippy but yeah, it's kind of looking back, I'm ooh, I kind of cringe at certain things, but also I know that's part of the process, and if people can look back and be oh, you don't start one day and you're amazing, it's a journey, and you know, it's fun for me just to look back sometimes and be like, oh, that's where I was, and it's fun to see the growth.
Was there a second, because I want to go back to this video of you coming out to your mother, was there like a second video of coming out as drag queens to your mother?
No, but that should have been one.
Yeah, no, I shouldn't say video, I mean like the process, like of coming out as a drag queen to your mother.
Well, what's interesting about that, coming out as a drag queen, it wasn't really a thing because me and Sugar, we started doing drag in our house in the suburbs. Normally queens, like they're out like in the city and like their families don't have to see it. They're just sneaking into, we couldn't hide it. We were literally upstairs
in the hallway.
TikToking, you know, so it's like, okay babes, like we get it, we see you. So yeah, we didn't really come out, but even like coming out as gay, like we didn't really even come out then because it was like they already knew pretty much, you know, like babes, that closet door was glass, you know.
Yeah, breaking right through it. So being this famous from digital culture though, I'm sure that your DMs are also very crazy with like drag queens and celebrities. What is the wildest DM that you've ever gotten from a Ru girl or just a celebrity in general?
Okay, wait, I have some good ones. Let me think. Let me give you a good one. Let me give you a spicy one. Maybe just like Detox. Just like, she's like a little like thirsty whore and I love it. It's just always like the hard eyes and like the goo goo gaga, and I'm just like, yes, we need to meet.
Yeah, that's not even in DMs. I mean, Detox just comments that on Twitter
that's
publicly
true,
for everybody to
I'm not
see.
exposing anything, no.
I think everybody knows that about Detox.
Yeah.
I also, did you have a like a digital content rivalry going on with Selena? Because I know she has a lot of YouTube videos and stuff too.
What's interesting is that like even now being in LA, I really did, I guess I just live in my own bubble. I had no idea. And she's like, girl, you have to like watch my videos, and I was like, I have to do my research, so I have to do my due diligence and get into that, but I had no idea.
So not yet, yes,
yeah, not yet.
Maybe in the future.
Yes.
So how would you describe how, obviously we know you have this huge platform on digital platforms, so how would you describe what you do as a drag artist in person on a stage performing for a club full of people?
Me and Sugar, when we perform, we like to bring our TikToks to life. You know, we want to give you their experience because no, I'm not this dancer that's gonna kiki and ka. It's not me, but I'm a performer and I love like to entertain. So I just like to have so much fun. And like, I don't know, the people that come to my shows, like the few ones that I've done, they're like, honestly, it just looks like you're having so much fun and it's infectious and like, it's just not serious. Cause like, that would be so embarrassing if I walked out there and I was like trying to do like lyrical ballet and give a whole like thing. It's like, no, let's give camp, let's give Katy Perry, let's give the whole bit.
Camp Katy Perry, that sounds like heaven to me.
Yeah.
So your sister was telling me your first ever performance together at a club was, there was a fight, it was sweaty, it was crowded.
Punches were thrown, yes.
What do you recall of this evening?
Honestly, I blacked out certain things, but it was like really intense, but I was like thriving. Even in the midst of all the chaos, I was like, ooh, I started this chaos, whoa. Like it was like cool. It was like kind of like evil and like sadistic and weird. But yeah, I just remember like being kind of like overwhelmed. And then actually I remember Aquaria actually in the city, she like came upstairs and like she was like calming us down and like we like were filming videos and like it was sweet, yeah. So it was, I have good memories surrounding that day.
So you're close with Aquaria?
Yeah, like we're friendly. I would like to be closer, yeah. Hit me up, girl.
Speak it into existence, Miss Aquaria, if you're listening. Is that also a tease into maybe how you approached Untucked, just sitting back being like, oh, I caused this chaos?
Honestly, if I could give y'all a teaser, I feel like I spiced up Untucked. Like, I understood the assignment, baby. Yes,
clearly. Yeah. I mean, understanding the assignment is your bag. Like, I mean, clearly.
I think what it is, sometimes I just get bored. And like when people just get like boring and it's like, we're just like, I want to like, it's like, come on, let's get this going, let's say what needs to be said. Yeah.
Spice it up.
Yeah, let's spice it up, yeah.
So do you think that you are taken, I mean, your route to drag is very different from other traditional queens.
Yes.
So do you think you are taken as seriously as other drag performers, or do you feel like you have to fight to be taken seriously as a drag artist?
Definitely the latter. I feel like I have to fight to be taken seriously, but also it's a fight I don't even want to take. It's like, I don't even care about being taken seriously in general, let alone in drag. But honestly, it's really interesting because looking back when I started doing TikTok on drag, it really was like an unknown thing. There was no other drag queens. It was kind of like the Wild Wild West. But even to become like a TikTok star or make money, like that wasn't a thing. Like Charlie and Dixie weren't even like really popping off. It was in the fall of 2019, even before Corona and COVID hit in March when everyone got on TikTok. But I knew, I was like, TikTok, it's gonna be the thing. I just had a feeling about it, and me and Sugar, like finally doing TikTok, doing drag on TikTok, we were kind of like, accepted. Like people were like living, and even though there was a lot of hate, people were loving it, and we're like, we just have to go with it. So
and look where you are now. I mean, you were right. You were totally right. Because of this big career you've built up with your sibling, I imagine it's also, you want to carve a lane for yourself by going on Drag Race. So what do you want people to see about you as an individual artist on Drag Race?
Yeah, I want people to see that like the sole reason why we do drag is to be seen as individuals. Yes, there's the family resemblance and we give our doll aesthetic, but it's just so cool to be seen as my own person. And I know that like probably sounds weird. Like if you're not a twin, it's like you kind of have to fight for your own individuality because people are always just like, oh, the twins, da da da. I don't know, like we used to look alike, we used to wear the same things, but we've always been very different and our friends know that, but people on the outside looking in, they're like, oh my God, y'all are identical. So like doing drag, we get to like just be our own entities.
So I know the Y2K fashion is 90s, early 2000s stuff is very much your interest. Who was the one who sort of said, let's lean into this as our aesthetic? Was it you or your sister?
I feel like it was just a mutual decision because literally I'm all about connecting to my inner child. Like, because if you think about it, when you connect to your inner child or like your 5th grade self or something, that's who you truly are. Like because it's before you were like in middle school, high school, and people had all these negative opinions on what to say, how to think, what to like, especially as like a queer person growing up. So I don't know, I just try to connect to my childhood self because that's when I feel really aligned and happy with who I am. So like growing up, I was obsessed with dolls. They were my fantasy, they were my escape. So when I'm in drag and I'm dressed up as this life-size doll, it just makes me so happy and I'm just like, I feel very like aligned.
I love that you both did. Your sister was talking about this too, about doing these videos with dolls when you were growing up. Please tell me that you were one of the groups of children that was doing like the Bratz Next Top Model.
Oh yeah, yes, that's literally what we did. Yeah,
Bratz Next Top Model.
Yes,
you're not joking.
No, that's literally what we did. We would take our dolls, we would enter them into these competitions, and like we always went to the end. Like we were iconic. Like it's kind of interesting because with our drag and even like our doll photography back in the day, it's kind of like we were very polished for the time, you know, and like that's how we got into photography, and like that's why when people are like, oh, when did you start doing drag? I'm like, babes, I was doing this back in middle school, but it was just on my dolls, like, and I was crazy back then. Like we would get the little theme, and it would be like underwater, and you'd have to take a picture of your doll underwater, and like all day in school. I was literally in 8th grade. Other kids are like doing the Four Locos and stuff, and I was just like, ooh, I'm gonna like make her eyeshadow blue, and I'm gonna take the picture, and like it was so fun. So I was kind of like using like the vehicle of my brain, like it just kind of go, like that's what I was doing then. Now it just takes up the form in drag, but yeah.
I was totally just throwing that out there, expecting you to be like, no, we did something different. You did Bratz Next Top Model.
We've won like multiple like Bratz Next Top Models. Like we were those girls.
That is so great. I love that. I have such vivid memories of watching those videos over. I probably have seen your creations on there sometime back when I was in high school. That is so great.
And also because I was really obsessed with America's Next Top Model.
Me
so
too.
Like that was my way of being on that show. And even like Drag Race, like someone described it to me, they're like, oh, it's like ANTM but for gays and like in wigs. And I was like, oh, that seems cool. So, yeah.
We need to get Miss J as a guest judge at some point. Or just like J and Miss J, maybe even Nigel. I mean, we'd settle for Nigel on Drag Race, come on.
I mean, honestly, when I like think back to like what I even thought drag was like back in the day, I remember thinking that like, because I remember thinking like RuPaul was like supposed to be like a Tyra impersonator, because like I just didn't, I thought drag was like just like you impersonate a celebrity or something. So I was like way off, but like, yeah, we need that crossover.
And of course, I can't forget Tyra. We need Tyra on the show
course,
too. So that was, I love how I was going through all of the guest judges, like Twiggy, Janice Dickinson, no, Tyra.
And honestly, even with like the ANTM Cinematic Parallels like crossovers, like in my mind, like me and Sugar were the Amanda Michelle season 7 ANTM of Drag Race.
My mind is blown right now. I totally forgot all about that. Oh my God, at least they didn't make you do a secret deodorant commercial on Drag Race. I mean, I think you would have fared well on that too. Speaking Spanish, doing a secret
honestly, like back in the day, like when I was in 4th grade watching that show, like you couldn't tell me anything else. I was the winner of America's Next Top Model. Like I would have went in and ate those girls up.
Yeah, we are so aligned in that sense. I was like that too, although I was probably a little bit older than you while I was going through that, so mine was more pathetic.
No.
Let's talk about season 15. I want to give just some brief teases. How do you think that season 15 is going to step up the level of competition, the stakes from season 14? Because it's the biggest cast ever. What is season 15 serving?
I feel like season 15 is interesting in the fact, okay, like obviously there's more queens, but I just feel like it's it's more real, if you will. And I feel like every reality show person, like, this season's more real, but like, there's drama, there's mess, there's like love, there's like iconic moments, like there's like went down, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just excited for it to unfold and for people to see.
And there's twists on twists on twists.
Yeah, there's definitely twists. And I mean, were there twists? Were there any like pretzel twists? Those are a thing, right? Like any ends?
Twists. Yeah.
Maybe let's get some of those.
Craft services. There were pretzel twists on set, confirmed. You heard it here. So the last thing I'll ask you is, after having competed, if you could go back and tell yourself on the very first day, before having competed, what would you say to that queen that walked into the workroom on the first day?
Honestly, I feel like I was a little naive. Like, I would have told myself to watch out for those girls, because I kind of forgot it was a competition. I was like, oh, I'm just going and I'm just gonna like wear my looks and just like trot around and like tick tick tock. And like, then I got there and it was like, hold the brakes, whoa, these girls are going in. So yeah, I should have like kind of like prepared myself a little bit, maybe done like a little prayer, even though I don't pray. I should have done that.
We still should have prayed, yes.
Yes.
Well, I truly thank you so much. This was a really great conversation. I cannot wait to see what you do on season 15.
Thank you. I'm excited too.
Of course. Thank you so much, and stay tuned for more with the cast of RuPaul's Drag Race season 15.